again. Let's see.
I gotta get this.
Kevin wants me to
And that's that.
How? Oh, we got
Okay,
fish.
you're in. You're good.
Oh, great.
Once they're back in, I'll. Oh, it says we have 13. So, okay. So, all right. Can you guys hear us now?
I like all these emojis we have in the chat.
Yeah. You guys should be able to hear Sam. I could, so hopefully you guys can.
Forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, we were talking about the. I
I
liked
liked
it
it
better
better
before.
before.
Ouch.
Shut up, Cody.
Well, that hurts my
We're
feelings. Uh,
so we were talking about the trade of Devin Bush to.
right. Oh man, that Sam guy's unbearable. That really hurts.
I like you, Sam.
So,
Don't
or
let
at least
Kevin
somebody
talk shit.
does. So, uh, Steelers are 4-3. You know, arguably they're still very much in the playoff hunt. Dwayne Haskins was playing really well. Matt Breida was playing really well. Chase Claypool's a stud. And you decide to trade your best young defender, not only within the conference, but you trade him to Cody.
Are they saying? Hold on one second. They're saying we're never coming back, but we're clearly in the podcast right now. It's playing, so I don't know what they're talking about. So hold on one second. All right, if this will. Oh, okay. He hears us, so Team Perp can hear us. All right, go ahead.
You trade him to Cody, who, you know, we warn people every season, don't trade your players to Cody. If he gives you picks, those picks are going to be worthless because his team is good. And every year, people just don't listen, and it makes no sense. Like, I'll be honest, I would have downvoted the Christian McCaffrey part of this trade, except when I saw it, it was already approved. So,
And to be fair, I did downvote it. I didn't think it was enough. Um, it is what it is. You guys can continue to ignore our pleas. Yeah, you have, because you traded for you traded for Deshaun Watson last year, Pod.
true. And
you gave him back Baker, I'm pretty sure. Who he then turned into Sam Darnold, who terrorized the Buccaneers all over the field.
My
it was
thing with
terrible.
the Steelers is they didn't need McCaffrey. Breida was playing fine. Like, it's not that much more of an upgrade to give up all of that.
Sam has also traded with Cody. I've also traded with Cody once. I traded with Cody once 2 years ago in Madden 19. I traded him David Johnson for a 6th-round pick, which, to be fair, was a terrible trade. I just wanted to get David Johnson off the books. And he didn't play for Cody. He got hurt the first game he played and was out for the season. So,
Yeah. It's just
it's the problem is you're giving up a guy who, yeah, he's gonna cost a lot of money. Devin Bush is gonna cost you a lot of money. But you're giving him to a guy where you're gonna maybe get like between 26 and 32 are the picks. Well, let's say 31 because Cody's never gonna win. David Johnson was a few years older, but they're going to be 26 to 32, realistically. And in these draft classes, that's just not worth it, in my opinion.
honestly,
That's just my opinion.
If that pick is 26, that's a win for you.
Yep.
Like, whoever you traded, like, that's a win. Like, that's like
Yep.
on the very high side, unless something truly bizarre happens, which is Cody. It's not going to. He's one of the best that we have. His teams are always going to be good. So
Yeah, I mean, if I was re-ranking the GMs now, Cody would be number one.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you. And to trade him for, essentially whatever, and then you get McCaffrey back, it's just strange. It's also strange
And
for
I'm not.
Kevin to trade McCaffrey, like we talked about this before the pod.
Yeah,
Like, it's just weird. Like, it's just a weird move for everybody except Cody. Like, Cody's like, yeah, why would like if I'm Cody, like, yeah, I'm gonna give up what's essentially an early second and early third round pick for one of the best young linebackers in the league.
Vince. The only people who get that are people from Doug. Nobody else gets that. I love that joke though. Yeah, you're right, Perp. We will see. We will. Like, I mean, we could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong about something on this podcast. I'm completely open to being wrong. I honestly hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope it works out for you. I do. It just, all of it's weird to me. It's all a weird, like, for Kevin, it's weird to trade McCaffrey. Maybe there's some middle linebacker in this draft who ends up being good enough that it doesn't matter, but we'll see, So, do you have anything else about the AFC North?
No.
I still think the Bengals are going to win this division. I don't
Yeah,
think that's who I picked
I was about to
originally.
ask. I was going to pull up.
I can't remember if I picked the Bengals. I think I did. I think I went ballsy and picked.
Yeah, so we both picked the Bengals.
No,
We
I
had-
still like that pick.
Yeah, I do too, even more so now. Moving on to the AFC South, where the Colts, who started 0-4, are now 3-4. Or I guess
3-5.
3-5
They
because
lost.
they played. Sorry, and I believe they're still winning the division.
They are, and they're the only team to not have a negative point differential. They have a 0, but at least it's not negative.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't know how much time you want to spend on this. Drew Lock may be done as a starting quarterback. It may be time to move on from this experience. And we were two of the biggest believers in Drew Lock. But it could be time to move on from him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got an 11-4 touchdown to interception ratio. He's thrown for 300, but he's taken 36 sacks in 8 games, which actually isn't as bad as I thought it was. But this team is too talented to be 3-5.
Yeah, I agree. And the one thing I'll say about this is Buckner was an All-Pro last year, and he has fallen off considerably this year.
Yeah,
in terms of his numbers.
Yeah, 3 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. Like, this man single-handedly destroyed teams last year.
Yeah,
he's not getting. I don't know if it's just the players around him. I mean, his rookie does have 6 sacks, which is nice, but that's literally all he's done. He's got 6 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 19 tackles. Like, he's done nothing else. Like, it might be enough to get an all-rookie team, because I don't know what the other rookie edge players are doing. But, yeah, this team is probably my biggest disappointment, even if they're leading the division.
Yep, I agree. Especially when the other teams in the division have a combined 5 wins.
They're at 6 now.
Are they? 2-4. Who else has played?
Yeah. Titans are 2-5. Texans are 2-5. Jags are 2-5.
It's the Jags. Okay, I didn't see the Jags played. Blair, you're winning games. What are you doing, my man?
Let's go ahead and move on to Blair. Like, Lee, you're having a string of bad luck. Maybe it turns itself around. Maybe Buckner turns it on down the stretch. But outside of that, like, he'll probably win the division just because it's so bad.
Yeah.
And he's got the only team that's functioning right now. Like, God, I wish I was in the AFC South. Like, I messed up.
I should have just picked the Texans again.
Yeah, I should have taken the Titans or something. I don't know.
Speaking
Uh,
of the Titans, another team that I'm not quite sure what they're doing. I don't know what Sam's plan is, but back to the Colts real quick.
Jags.
No, back to the Colts real quick. Like I have them only of having one loss, bad loss, and that's the Titans. But I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So are we doing Titans or Jags?
We can do Titans since you
Okay,
started talking about
okay.
Sam.
That's the only reason because I had the Titans at 2 and 4 because didn't see the Jags play. Anyway, I don't know what Sam's doing. He let Stafford walk in the offseason, and he drafted a rookie quarterback who's, I believe, like a 68 or 69 overall. So I was like, okay, great. You draft a young guy, see what he's got, whatever. Well, he's starting Tannehill, who's been terrible. Like, doesn't have 1,200 yards passing, has 4 touchdowns and 7 picks. Like, he's been terrible.
Yeah.
His leading receiver is Johnny Smith with less than 300 receiving yards. Like, the only bright spot for the Titans is Von Miller, Rashawn Evans, and Harold Landry, and Jeffrey Simmons have combined for 21 sacks this year. That's it. Like, other than that,
Which,
like,
you know,
it's good. It's pretty good. Like, Derrick Henry's got
eh.
700 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, but uh, I don't know what the plan is here.
Yeah, I don't like any of the moves that Sam has made, which is depressing to say after all the great moves that Nathan had made.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like a single move that Sam's made so far. I think this team's bad, and I think it's worse than its record shows. And I think, well, that's the problem. Is I guess it's the lack of moves that I don't like. Pod, like it's nothing. It's literally nothing. There's nothing here of substance to like point in a direction either way.
And we talked about it.
If he would,
We talked about it in the preseason pod for this year. Is we both thought the Titans should be sellers because this team clearly wasn't going to go anywhere. Especially
every play there. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, honestly, especially with like not bringing Stafford back, signing a rookie. Like you could have gotten some real assets for Derrick Henry and Von Miller.
Yeah, he is the new Minnesota. Like that's it's not even a meme.
He's a robot.
I didn't make this one at least. I made Minnesota. Like at least I can like claim that. Let's go to the Jags.
All right.
They signed Matt Stafford, and I don't think it's working. Easy to say.
Nope.
I haven't looked at Jamar Chase's numbers, but I don't think they're as good as they were last year.
This is before the most recent game that I found. At the time, Jamar Chase had just over 500 receiving yards. He probably has more since then. They do have one good
565.
win. Okay, so he only had like 40-something more last game. He has one good win. He beat the Giants in week 1, and the Giants are, I guess, good. I don't really know what to do with the Giants yet, but we'll get to them later. But
yeah,
I mean, a bright spot. Marlon Mack has bounced back from his poor year last year. He already has over 600 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, but the rest of this team is just bad. And Blair should really just be
selling every.
Yeah, like
he should have sold every piece that he had that was worth anything. And yes, you're right, Vince. Jamar Chase was 0 touchdowns. Like
sus.
Sus. Did him and Jalen Waddle switch bodies this offseason? Is that what happened? It's a Freaky Friday situation. Yeah, Blair should be trying to lose as many games as possible right now.
Which is actually really hard considering the division he's in.
Right. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about Blair. Let's move on to the Texans.
Lucha.
They're bad. They're bad, but at least Lucha's trying to be bad.
Lucha. Okay, so this team is bad, but they're actually kind of fun. They have a good win this year. They beat the Eagles. Desmond Ridder has actually not been terrible. Like, I haven't looked at his finals, but he has over 1,300 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 picks. But
Yeah.
Dwayne Glenn has been a star his rookie year. Like, if you want to say something negative about it, he hasn't done really anything in the passing game. He only has 166 receiving yards, but he has 600 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns as a rookie. And he also has
Yeah,
a
it's not
rookie
bad.
that's leading his team in receiving. So, like, Luch is actually building his team the right way. Like, you're bad, but at least all the young guys are getting stats.
The only problem I have with what's happening with Lucha is there are teams that are worse than him right now, and unless they start picking up some wins, like the Bills or the Vikings, he's going to miss out on that one of those quarterbacks. And I think he needs one of those guys to make a real push.
True.
So hopefully those guys win a couple games. I mean, the Vikings probably have the best quality win of the season.
Yeah,
but we'll get to them later.
So pretty much everybody picked the Colts to win this division. You still feeling good about that? I do, just because the rest of the division is so bad.
I don't feel good about it, but I'm not changing my mind.
Yeah.
Like, looking at this division, like, they'll probably win it. They'll probably win it at like 7-9, and it'll be an ugly division from start to finish. So, I mean, yeah. Let's move on to the AFC East, the weirdest division, I think, this year.
This is where I'm going to start getting upset.
All right, let's start with Cody.
6-1. He has one bad loss against the Vikings in week 1, whatever. His best win right now is against the 4-4 Bears. But he does play the Bengals this week, so that's going to be a really nice test. And to be honest, this game against the Bengals, it kind of matters. I would say it actually matters more for Cirilio than it does for Cody.
Yep.
Because Cody should not lose a game in the division this year. So he has all those extra games on Cirilio. So this game, doesn't really matter that much, I don't think.
Yeah. The only thing that's hurt Cody this season has been injuries.
Yep. That's it.
Wyrick going down. Although it probably was a positive for Cody, because now he doesn't have to pay Wyrick upwards of $70 million, $80 million probably, and he can trade him to somebody for, I don't know, probably a 99 overall fucking safety or something. The lengths that people will go to make trades with Cody is just beyond me. Like, if Cody asked me about Chris Olave yesterday, I was like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm all right.
Yeah, just go through a few stats. I don't know if Cody and Cirilio have played yet. I don't think so.
No, they're still waiting for Cody's trades to go through.
But as of right now, Deshaun Watson has 15 passing touchdowns and only 1 interception, which for the life of me, I just do not understand. But it is what it is at this point.
So there was a question that I wanted to answer here. Where the hell was it? You may have sent it to me. Maybe you didn't send it to me. Maybe Kevin sent it to me. Hold on 1 second.
Was it the one about the archetypes?
No. Who sent it to me? I thought it was you. I thought somebody sent it on your end. Never mind, because I can't find it, so I don't remember the exact wording of it.
Is it why do people keep trading with Cody? Good question. We don't know.
No, because it was about it was the favorite players on our team to watch, and I was gonna bring up Cody's team with it. Because it was gonna be JoJo Brewer, being tied with Stephon Gilmore for most sacks in the AFC East.
Most sacks,
just an interesting.
That's pretty.
Most
that's
interceptions.
Impressive.
Most interceptions.
Jeez, what kind of what Dragon Award did they get? Because I want my guys to do that over the offseason.
Kevin really wants us to answer the long one he sent, so I'll read it and we'll answer it just to get it out of the way because it's dumb and I hate it. One night you wake up to see 4 people standing around you. Sit up dazed and confused. The first person you notice is Danny DeVito, and he is a mob boss and will shoot you, but won't if you sing him a song, full lyrics and everything. What song is it? What song are you picking, Sam?
I'm picking God's Plan by Drake.
Okay. I'll pick Piano Man by Billy Joel because I've heard it a billion times and I know every word. So
nice.
Yeah. So, like I don't know. Let's move on to the Jets. Ugh.
I want to start here.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm frustrated by my division mates.
Yeah. So just to start quick, Poe's best win is actually against the 2-5 Dolphins. He didn't have any bad losses this year.
We're 3-5 now, man.
Okay, now the 3-5 Dolphins. So for all the complaining that Poe does about Dak has played pretty well if you just look at the stats. I know he said something about like if you actually watch the streams he plays bad. All I'm looking at is the numbers. Aaron Jones has played fine. I don't think he's played as well as he did to start last season, but he's been fine.
I think that's the big problem here is how mediocre Aaron Jones has been. I think that's the bigger problem.
Yeah. Westbrook and Thomas have been fine. They've combined for over 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. Rambo and Travis Kelce have combined for 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. But the biggest issue I have is trading Quinnen Williams. So
yeah,
I don't like this trade for Pode because it seemed like an overreaction to starting out 3-4, and I just don't agree with it. Like Quinnen Williams, like that was a dude you could have on your team this entire cycle, and he was going to be X Factor the rest of the way. And to me, it just didn't make sense. Like again, like those Seattle picks, yeah, you got 2 firsts, that's great. But guess what? Seattle's going to be really good. They may not be like 28-32, but unless something bizarre happens, they're going to make the playoffs every year. So those picks aren't going to be great. And it's like, hey, would you rather have 2 low 70 overall normals? Would you rather have freaking Quinnen Williams? And to me, it's no contest.
I get where you're coming from, Pode. Like, I don't hate the trade. I'm not as adamant against the trade as Sam is. I don't like the picks, but if you package those picks and can get up into the early first, maybe it becomes a little better. I think that. Yeah, and I think there are all 3 against the Dolphins too, to be completely honest with you. Well, that is a big problem for Pode is the Clowney contract. It was too much money to give him up front, and like, yeah, he's a good player, but I don't think Clowney in real life or in Madden is a game changer. The only time he ever was when Twinkie used him out of position at D tackle because he was too fast for the interior lineman, and we literally had to make a rule about not being able to play him at D tackle. Yeah, my Super Bowl pick is out the window because I don't think Pode makes the playoffs.
Yep.
And Kevin decided that he hated his team. But let's go to the Bills next, actually, because I think there are more interesting talks.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Sean.
Look, I like Sean. I think Sean's a super nice guy. I think Sean's a much better GM than he's showing in here. I don't know what he's doing in here. I can't figure it out for the life of me. He's got ADHD when it comes to
life.
He can't pick a quarterback to save his life. Like, gun to his head, I don't think he could make a literal decision about which quarterback he wants to play.
And he's still 0-7.
He's got no good players in the secondary.
So he has no good wins, but it's hard to have any good wins when you're literally 0-7. No bad losses, because for him, any loss is a good loss. To me, the two bright spots for him are his rookie running back Tomlinson and Kyle Pitts, and Nick Gillespie on defense. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. And
I guess Nick Gillespie is a bright spot on defense. Like, he's the only good player in that secondary, and he plays safety. And Sean came on here in the early season podcast and gave a whole spiel about having players in the right positions, but corner is the right position in this Madden. You have to have good players at corner. If your guys aren't getting picks, then you're going to get toasted all game. Your guys have to be able to make plays.
Yep.
And Sean doesn't have anybody who can do that outside of Gillespie, who plays safety. The corner, like, paying $20 million for that corner is a mistake.
It was dumb at the time, and it looks even worse now.
Yeah. I mean, he's still got a shot at 7-9, so good luck on that, Sean.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, technically, he's not out of the running. He's got 3 more games to lose before he's out of the running.
It is numerically possible.
And, like, I like Tomlinson. I like Pitts. I like a few things that Sean has on this team. But you got to roll out to Eric King. Like, he's the only guy who I think gives you an actual shot at winning.
Okay. So
unless that's not your goal.
So I think Rodgers actually gives you the shot at winning. But to me, you have to play King. To me.
See, I think that King, with the scrambling, is going to make more plays that, he's going to make some bad plays, but he might bust one for 60 yards that ends up changing the face of a game.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and I agree with that. Like, Rodgers isn't going to do that. But to me, you have to give King a couple of years, right? Like, even if he finishes with the number 1 overall pick and drafts drafts one of the QBs in this draft, like, if you get King to like a mid-70 overall, like, that's an actual trade piece for somebody. Like, somebody would give you, it wouldn't be a lot, it might be like a third, but like, you could trade him.
And here's the other problem with what Sean has done with bringing in Rodgers. He doesn't have a single receiver who would start on any other team.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like, his rookies, maybe I give them some run just because they're the one is 21. The 23-year-old's not sniffing the field. He's too old. You know, the 21-year-olds, maybe. I mean, the 6'5", 229 guy is nice looking just because those big body guys kind of are really valuable this draft or this Madden. But Sean doesn't have anybody, and that's what I think makes Aaron Rodgers less likely to lead him to victories, because Aaron Rodgers can throw it, but if your dudes don't get open ever, what's he doing? You know?
Yeah.
So let's get off of Sean.
Yeah. And I'm assuming we're all still cool with the Patriots pick.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do the Dolphins, but I mean, we can skip my team. That's fine.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Like, damn. I mean, I'm still a team here. Like, not a good one, but like a team. I have the best rookie running back.
Our team actually have the same record.
I have the best rookie or second year running back, and I'm confident in saying that now.
Okay.
I mean, let's talk about it. Let's not. I'm just kidding. He's top 3.
People don't want to hear that.
No. So the Dolphins are still pretty bad.
Well, injuries have hurt you.
Yeah, I'm finally healthy. So in my defense, I have a really nice second half of the year coming up. Or at least a few really nice games. Beat the Chargers barely, but I get the Bills. The Pats is not a good game, but then I get the Texans, the Bears, Ravens, and Steelers. I'm not sure what they actually are. the Jets, who just traded a guy who's terrorized me for 2 years, and then the Bills to end the season. So
That's not bad.
it's a nice, compared to that I start out with the Jets, with everybody, Lions, Pats, Bengals, Browns, and Vikings, and then Packers after a bye. So I had I kind of thought I'd be 2-5, if I was lucky, 3-4 to start the season.
Right. And the nice part for you is Quincy Roach has picked up right where he left off last year, and JoJo Brewer has played really well.
Yeah, I think JoJo Brewer, I know he was taken 6th, but I don't think anybody thought he was going to be as good as he's been early in the season.
No, definitely not.
My receivers or whatever, Harris coming back has been really nice. He's averaging 105 yards a game and has 5 touchdowns, so he's been really good. Singletary's been a nice compliment to him with a few touchdowns over that stretch too. But my team is still a year at least away from competing, and it gets further and further away every time somebody trades a great player to Cody.
You just add a year.
If I could,
every time Cody has a 90 or better player, you're like, well, now we're 3 years away.
Yep, it's just I'm all right, I'm almost there. I've got no big contracts. Tua's coming up. We'll see what I do with Tua, but if you guys could stop trading with Cody, that'd be great. I make a move and I'm all right, this is the move that gets me closer, and then fucking Teron Armstead goes down for 5 weeks, and I'm oh no, it's not. Never mind.
We'll just throw in the towel. Luke Carter's debut is now live for Pod.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Please keep playing him when we play Pod. That's all I ask. So we all think the Patriots are still going to win.
Yep, even more so now, and our Super Bowl picks are in the toilet.
Yep.
Thank you.
So moving on.
Thank you, Pod.
Moving on to the AFC West. Again, another really ugly year out in the West. Hey, the Raiders have some wins this season, though. They might beat me again, and this time it won't be a robot beating me. None of these teams... Oh, no, that's not true. The Broncos have a positive point differential, and nobody else does.
Yeah.
Go figure, Paul stops streaming games and starts losing.
It's very simple, Paul. It's very simple. You stream, you win.
And today I'll give him a pass because he had stuff going on.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I get it.
He's already
if your opponent...
Yeah, he's already doing better than he did the past couple years, so it's all just jokes.
At this point, I don't think there's much to say about the Chiefs outside of Patrick Mahomes is still really good.
Yeah, the offense is really good. The defense is sus, and that's about it.
And I mean, I don't think there's much more to say about the Chiefs. We talked about them a lot with their trades and stuff that they had made.
The only thing I'd like to say is Clyde Edwards-Helaire is having a really nice bounce back year because he played really bad last year, and he's playing a little better this year, which definitely helps Paul.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about Paul's team because it's pretty simple. If they stream, they win.
Sean's starting Kellen Mond.
Of course he is. Why wouldn't he?
I hate it.
Moving on to the Chargers. Phil has a bad team, but they have some bright spots.
Yeah, I guess a pretty big bright spot is Herbert is playing better than last year.
Yeah, Herbert played really well against me. He didn't throw any interceptions. He moved the ball really well. Well, relatively well. His defense is nice. He's got some good pieces on defense, but I think this team needs a true number one receiver if he wants Herbert to have a chance. Mike Williams and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I was gonna say the combination of Tyler Boyd and Mike Williams and OJ Howard is it's fine, but it's kind of the problem that I'm running into with my team. It's my number one is Seth Williams. Seth Williams is fine.
That's not Winston. That's Charlie. That's my dog. Somebody's walking by. He's out there letting him know that this is our house.
Winston's actually fast asleep next to me on the couch.
Yeah, I was like, I knew it was Charlie because I was like, I can hear it, so I know everybody else can. That just means somebody's walking by, and he's like, "Hey, fuck you, man. This is where I live." I weigh fucking 30 pounds, but I'll let you know.
I'll put a picture in content of what Winston is currently doing.
Nice.
It
is in the middle of the street. Actually, it's literally right in the middle of this block. Actually, it takes up the whole block, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, and I'll say this: like when doing a little bit of a deep dive with the Chargers, like it's like Eckler and Gurley have like switched roles this season. Last year, Gurley was kind of the workhorse for this team, and it's like completely flipped. Like Eckler is almost doubling Gurley in yards. And
yeah, I just played Phil, and I barely saw Gurley out there. I think he had like 6 or 7 carries.
Yeah, and I assume that's just because Gurley's regression at this point in the league.
Yeah.
But it's just shocking because Gurley had, I believe, like almost 1,300 yards last year, which is good for him.
Yeah, he had a great season last year. I don't think there's much to say about this Chargers team. They've got a rough schedule coming up. Phil started out rough.
D.D. Westbrook about to be on the block.
Let's move on.
Broncos or Raiders?
Let's do Broncos. They're first. They're third in my... I think the Broncos are still really good. I think they've just had some bad luck.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think the 21-point differential is not like a mirage. I think they're still a really good team. Yeah, I had to sign in to appreciate the dog. Well, I'm sure Sam appreciates it. You've already seen my dogs, Ryan. I sent him in FLG chat last year. It was actually this year. It was earlier this year. It feels like a different year.
This whole year is like 3 years put together.
Yeah, like it was actually like in fucking March, but you know that was the beginning of this. Yeah, we should start a channel just for pet picks, and I'll give content awards just for pet picks.
Oh, heck yes. Now we're talking.
I'm just gonna take pictures of other people's pets and be like, those are not my pets, but these are my friends' pets.
Why do you have 20 dogs? Like, where do they all go?
I mean, the guy who rents out my basement has 6 cats, so I mean, I could just go down there and fucking take a bunch of pictures of these cats. I hate cats though, so any cat people in here. They smell. They poop in a box. It's so weird.
Well, where else are they supposed to poop?
Outside, like normal people.
Well, you have outdoor cats. My sister has an outdoor cat.
These cats don't go outside. It's too cold to go outside for them.
Oh, yeah, I guess you do live in Wyoming or Montana.
Nope, Montana. I was like, don't disgrace me like that. Wyoming sucks worse.
No, they're all the same.
We pooping in a bowl with water. I guess you do. I got a fucking nice corner I go take shits on every day.
I poop on the ground.
Yeah, I poop outdoors. Who doesn't poop outdoors? You guys never go camping? I don't go camping. I'm a liar. I've never pooped outside.
I pooped outside. It was an emergency.
I mean,
and I had no other options.
I've pooped outside when I was like a kid, but like I haven't done it as an adult. It's not a goddamn meth lab. If he's making meth, he needs to. I'm gonna up his rent. Like, all right, back to the Broncos. Fucking like.
Yeah, back to the Broncos. Justin Fields is having a good sophomore season, and the combo of Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, and Jerry Jeudy have over 1,100 receiving yards. The problem with this team is they just don't create a lot of turnovers or get sacks.
Yeah, they're having. Like, I can't. I like. They can't.
I know you keep looking up in the chat.
Yeah, Aaron Donald hasn't been the same player the last couple of years, and I think that's a big problem, but hopefully he can turn it around. The 1-4 at home is not great,
Yeah.
but 2-0 on the road,
And they do have a good win this. Well, nope, that's the Raiders. Never mind. I actually have them. I have the Broncos as they have one bad loss in the Raiders because I don't think the Raiders are that good.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Raiders. Let's talk about new user Travis and what I thought was going to be the biggest trade of this season, and then was quickly like
overshadowed
by
within
every other
24
trade.
hours.
Yeah. So he traded Josh Jacobs to Vince. A good deal for Vince, I think. I like it for Vince. I mean, I would have stuck with Swift, but I like it.
Yeah, I like it more
it's
for,
a move.
For Vince than more for Trevor, but I get it. Like
Travis.
Yeah, excuse me, Travis.
Oh, I was like,
I don't know. Travis, my bad.
Jesus Christ, Kevin. I can't look at the chat anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Computer. He wasn't good today, Kevin. He was bad. He was fucking terrible today.
Trevor loves the run game.
But
Luke Carter out here
as much as
ducks.
As much as I don't like the move. It's a move for the Raiders, which is a step in the right direction. Like I don't like it. Anybody can, like, we had the argument about, like, well, he's got the X factor running back. The guy's a year younger than Josh Jacobs and is slow and not a power back.
Yep.
So I don't like. I just don't see a world where that dude's very good in 3 or 4 seasons.
So he's fine. We don't know what abilities he has yet. I don't think he'll probably get him at like 75, 70 or 75, something like that.
75, but I mean it doesn't matter because he's a 69 overall 23-year-old. Yeah, he's got X factor. So what if you focus train him for the next 3 years? He's a mid 80s guy. Like I guess like you don't have to pay Jacobs now, but you have so much cap space you can free up. Does it really matter if you pay Jacobs?
Right. I guess.
Who else? Who else are you paying? Are you going to re-sign Carr to a huge deal?
I hope not. Automatic boot. But if that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree, Pod. It's one move. Yeah, go ahead with your stats for the Raiders.
Yeah, so the Raiders actually do have a good win. They beat the 5-3 Ravens. I believe this is while Lamar Jackson was hurt, but still. That was a nice win. And Henry Ruggs has had a good year as well. Finally, now that he has an active user and that he's being focus trained. But so this is probably one of the more contested divisions in terms of the predictions. I picked the Chiefs, you picked the Chargers. We actually had almost everybody across the board.
God damn it. What the fuck was I thinking? I had faith in the little Indian from Philadelphia. That was my problem. Yeah, I guess if I had to pick now, I'd pick the Broncos.
I'm still rolling with the Chiefs. Even with all the moves they made.
Never trust a quarterback with 2 first names.
True.
Tom and Brady are 2 first names, though.
Yeah, that's true. So
like,
that was the AFC.
Do you want to do some questions here in the middle?
Nah, I said we just keep powering through and do questions at the end.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Let's go to the NFC North, where, surprise, surprise, Will is winning.
Good. Yeah. The Packers are really good, and so Preston Williams and Devontae Adams were playing really well. I actually didn't understand the need to bring in Julio. I mean, Like, if you can bring in Julio, you obviously do it. Because, I mean, Will's current one isn't going to be anything special anyway. So,
Right.
but to me, and Kevin Knox had over 500 receiving yards. So, like, Will's offense was already really, really good. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have probably wanted to spend my current one elsewhere. But, yeah, if you can
Will doesn't have a lot of holes, though. That's the
Right.
thing, is Will doesn't have a lot of holes. I guess this seems like a move specifically directed at Cody.
Yeah, because
this doesn't seem like a move like I'm worried about the Seahawks.
right.
Because Adams and Parker and Williams could have done just fine against, the Seahawks, but so now you have Adams, Julio, Parker, and they match up really well against Gilmore, J.C. Jones, Jonathan Jones. I was thinking of J.C. Jackson and whoever Cody's third guy is. I don't even know who Cody's third guy is.
Some bomb, probably.
So I don't think this move was made with the NFC in mind, because I think Will's pretty clearly the best team in the NFC right now.
Absolutely. And combine all that with the offense, and Rashawn Gary and Zadarius Smith have 7 sacks each. So his front seven is still putting in serious work. And, to be honest, it really helps when you play with the Lions and the Vikings in your division. But
Brian Poole is Cody's number 3. So I really hope I get to see a Brian Poole covering Julio Jones. I will make Roy make a meme out of that.
Yeah.
When Cody inevitably loses in the Super Bowl.
For Will, I have he has one good win on the year. He beat Washington, I think 2 weeks ago when they were both still undefeated. And I didn't have any losses. His quote worst loss was against the Bears this past week. But I don't know.
And that's a division loss.
Yeah, it's not even like the Bears are actually pretty decent with their rookie QB, so that's not a bad loss. That's gonna happen because it's Madden. But his team's playing really well. He arguably has the MVP of the whole league in Jordan Love on his team.
Yep.
AJ Dillon's playing well, and then the rest of the receiving core you already mentioned.
Yep. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to those Bears. 4-4. I think they're still rolling out
Clay Griffin.
Yeah, the rookie. Because I know we put Minshew on the block, but that wasn't gonna work. Nobody was gonna bite on that.
Yeah. Griffin's played really well. He has just under 1,600 yards passing. He does have more interceptions than touchdowns, but he is a rookie, so that isn't too surprising. He does have that one good win against the Packers. He doesn't have any bad losses. Zamir White has played well this year so far. Roquan Smith has just been a complete monster. His 7 forced fumbles in the first half of the year to go along with 3 sacks and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's a monster. This Bears team probably isn't going to make the playoffs, but at least they're fun to watch. Zamir White has a chance to really cement himself as the third best running back in last year's draft, or 2 years ago. Last year's.
I want to push back. I actually think this Bears team could make the playoffs. My case for them is, we talk about the NFC West being really good. It would take somebody I don't think the 49ers are going to make the playoffs anymore, but it would take them beating somebody in their division. If they knocked the Cardinals out or something like that.
Well, since they lost to the Cardinals twice, that's not happening.
That's what I get for not knowing the schedule. So.
I only know because Roy made a meme.
I don't pay attention.
No, he's not. Shut up, Cody. You take that shit back. Javian Hawkins plays on the best team. It's not that impressive.
Was he? Wait, he wasn't.
He was that draft class. Yes, yeah, he was.
Okay, so he was with like ETN and all them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, whatever.
Um, let's go to the Lions. Let's talk about Vince's team. I like what Vince is doing in Detroit. I think it's nice. I think he's got a good chance of turning it around next season. Definitely not this season.
Yeah, he hasn't played yet, right? He's still 2-6.
Yep.
Yeah. No good wins or bad losses for Vince so far. Lawrence has been good. He's been a lot better as a scrambler. DeAndre Swift.
You know what, Cody? Why don't you go check the stats? Huh? Talking all this shit? Why don't you go check the stats?
I'm just ignoring
He is
him.
averaging 100. He is averaging 100 plus. Fight me.
Bringing Josh Jacobs was a fun move. So I'll say this about Jalen Waddle. He has looked really good this year. Like, he has almost 700 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, you could make the argument, we started the year saying it was Jamar Chase and everybody else. I think you can make the case that Jalen Waddle, I would honestly say along with Rashad Bateman for Indy.
Yep.
Like, those three, I would say, are the definite top 3 in this class. And then you have other guys that are in that second tier. So Waddle's been really, really good. And that Lawrence to Waddle combo is going to be really good. Could be for the rest of the Madden, depending on how long he keeps Waddle around. The thing for me, if I was Vince, we talked on the casual pod about Woodard, about him having 9 sacks in the first 3 or 4 games. He hasn't had a sack since.
He's been hurt.
Oh, he's been hurt? Well, there you go.
Yep, he played the Packers, didn't have any, and then got hurt against the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Should be back. I think in a week or two. So
okay. Then no cause for concern
I think he's
yet.
Yep. This is a team that's 2 years off from really competing.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, 2, maybe 3. It honestly depends on how quickly Vince wants to be good. Because you can make an argument he could make some big splashes this offseason too and spend a lot of money in free agency on veterans to try to compete for a wild card spot. It's not what I would do, but I wouldn't blame Vince for going that route.
Harris is going to have 200 yards against you, Cody. Knock it off. They're going to be receiving yards, and they're all going to be dump-offs, but it's going to be 200 yards. All right, moving on to the Vikings. I'm going to ignore Cody from now on. Not looking at him anymore.
Yeah, we'll make it quick for the Vikings. They have the best one of the whole year, beating the Patriots in Week 1.
Yep.
They've played Cam and Kirk Cousins. I think he's playing Cam now solely.
I think Cam got hurt.
Okay.
That's why Kirk Cousins has some run.
That's fair.
Because he got hurt. He got hurt on the first play of the game against us. Scrambled.
Yeah.
Didn't
team,
slide because he's stupid.
Yeah, he is stupid. This team is bad, and they're in contention for the number 1 pick. And
this team is bad, and they should feel bad.
They have some extra picks down the line from the Broncos, so that'll help with the rebuild. We'll have some people coming off the books pretty soon. So they'll have a ton of cap space. So this team is, I mean, honestly, they're doing what they need to do. They need to lose. They shouldn't be trying to win. They're doing their job.
Yep. Who called me? No, fucking spam. I don't care. Moving on to the NFC South. Another really ugly division.
Yeah, it is.
Let's go ahead and just meme Kevin to high hell. Kevin, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, man. And your team was still really good, and you traded. You can say you traded a bad tight end, and you traded an expensive linebacker. You also traded Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for peanuts, and I don't get it. I don't get where this team is going. You know, after the offseason with trading for Cooper Kupp, I was like, okay, I guess I can see how that's a better fit. But every move that you've trading Christian McCaffrey, every move is to make your team worse, and your team's still too good to to get into that top part of the draft.
Yeah,
Your team's probably still gonna win the division.
he is. Just because my team isn't ready. The Bucks are pretty good, but they're starting a rookie QB, and the Falcons are old and deteriorating. So like, he's going to win this division by default, but he has no good wins. I put out his 2 bad losses. He lost to, I beat him in round 1, and he lost to the Bucks.
Hold on.
It's a retool.
Read the chat. I don't have any picks. We said that.
Yeah.
We said that. We said that from the start. You traded all these players for better picks than you're getting back. Like, it doesn't make sense. The Rams aren't that good. Like, I don't think the Rams are.
I mean, if you want, I'll give you the Rams if you want. Like, the Rams.
I guess they're
fine.
5-2.
Yeah, the Rams
they're
are
5-2.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the Rams. I probably just missed it. I'll give you the Rams. That's fine. You have one good win. You beat the Rams.
But your moves just like they're frustrating because okay, so you add a Pittsburgh pick that's probably going to end up being not that good because they'll probably end up making the playoffs because the rest of the AFC is so bad. Like, either be bad or be really good. Yeah, my bad, Corb. You guys are good. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm just... Yeah. The
moves were just unnecessary.
They don't make any sense.
And those picks also aren't going to help you. Like, unless you trade those picks for other players, which is what you're probably going to end up doing anyway.
Right.
But
so why not just roll with the guys you had?
Yeah.
Because you were 4-2. Yeah, let's go. The Bucks starting the rookie quarterback. He's been okay. He's not great.
He's fine. I mean, he's probably the 3rd best rookie QB, I would say, probably. His 1,400 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He does have 374 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So, I mean, that's not nothing. Ronald Jones has played good. Chris Godwin has played fine. Vita Vea and Shaq Barrett both have 8 sacks apiece. So, I mean, this team is fine. Like, they beat me. But that's not saying a whole lot. And, yeah, I think this team, I don't think Pat Knapp is the QB of the future. So if Larry wants to bring in a vet next year and maybe try to compete, I think he still can because he still has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on this team. So he either needs to get rid of both of those guys and completely tank or bring in a better QB because that's the only way he's going to compete.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about the Bucks. It's nice to not have... I think the Bucks were in a really good position to win year 1, and if you didn't win year 1, it was going to take a lot to get back to being good after that.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to my team, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm 3-5. My 3 wins are against the Browns, Giants, and Panthers. I lost to the Bucks. I've started out 3-1. I'm 0-4 since then. Trey Lance has gotten hurt in the second half of back-to-back games. He's played fine. He's leading the team in interceptions.
He's tied with Tua again.
Oh, is he? That's comforting. Travis Etienne is having a really good year. He is top 5 in the league in rushing. Jonathan Moses, my rookie wide receiver, second on the team in receiving. That's nice. David Bowen has 10 sacks, and the rest of the defensive line combined for 15 sacks. Yeah, it's been fine. I got overhyped because we started out 3-1 and quickly fell back to earth. So that's pretty frustrating, but Still super young on offense. Yeah, I don't really have anything to add.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the Falcons. I don't have anything on your team. The ETN's been nice. Lance is struggling, but not really. But he's in that weird. I think Lance and Tua are going to have very similar career paths as far as like their interceptions and stuff go. I think they're going to be frustrating with that for a while.
Yeah, but he is a scrambler, so he does.
Yeah,
you got to take the rushing yards with the bad interception. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So let's move on to the Falcons. Talk about Oscar and his aging team. He did do what we told him to do, and he traded Julio. Good job.
Good
That
job.
was a smart move. Outside of that, I mean, he just doesn't have a lot of talent on this team. That's like it's either they're too old or they're too young. Like, he doesn't have a lot of guys who are in that prime, like 25 to 28, who are good. It's a frustrating situation to be in when your quarterback regresses from like a 90 to a mid-70s guy in 2 years.
Yeah. And it's, his rookie running back has played well.
Yeah.
And Matt Ryan's had a nice bounce back year from last year. Other than that, the defense is bad.
Yep.
I would expect him to continue to tear down in the offseason. But other than that, this team is bad. This division is not great and also very confusing.
Yep.
So you want to move on to arguably the second or third best division in the entire league?
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about it. We've got the NFC East with the Washington football team at 6-2. Brian Sharp's been a lot better than I think anybody thought he could be.
For sure.
All right. No more talking in the chat. You guys are distracting me. What the hell is it?
So Washington, they have two good win. They have one good win this year against the Eagles. Their only losses came from the Packers and Giants. That's pretty impressive. Kamar's been really good once again. Terry McLaurin's been good. Montez Sweat has 15 sacks.
Yep.
Just an absolute monster, and the rest of his defensive line has played really well too.
Yeah, this Washington team's going to be really good. I think they're going to win the division. But it's going to be closer than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I think I have more to say about this Giants team than I do that the Washington team. Is Ricky Giles good?
So, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I said. Somebody asked me that. I was like, maybe. It's possible.
So the Giants have 3 good wins on the year. They beat the Bears, they beat the Eagles, they beat Washington. They have 2 bad losses against the Jags and the Saints. Ricky Giles has played good this year. Barkley has played pretty good. Evan Ingram's played good. Slayton's played good. To me, the biggest difference for them, though, has been the defense. The defense has definitely picked up from last year. And I don't know if this team is legit or not. To me, when you have wins against the Eagles and Washington, and I think we both think those teams are good, then that should say that you're pretty good.
Yeah. It's a weird team. This division is weird. Number 1 weirdest division, I think. Because this Giants team shouldn't be good on paper.
Yeah.
But here they are at 6-2. So who knows what happens the rest of the season. Let's go to Ryan and the Eagles. Added Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Moved him to corner. I guess that's fine. I don't know.
It's an interesting move.
It's not what I would have done with him, but I get it, I guess. Wentz has been pretty good this season, better than expected, but is the fall coming?
So that's the thing with Wentz is we always wait for the other shoe to fall. The Eagles this year, they beat the Seahawks and Bears as their two good wins. But again, they lost to the Texans.
Yep.
Miles Sanders has had another really nice year, and his receivers have been fine. His rookie, Lorenzo Vernon, has 7 sacks. Fletcher Cox has 8 sacks. So, I mean, on paper, this team seems good, but with Wentz, he always has a few bad games. You just don't know when they are.
Yeah, you hope they're not in the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah. I think Ryan's team is okay. I don't know if they're good. I think they're right on that border of being between good and like average. Like I very easily see this team being 4-5 instead of 5, or 4-4, 3-5 instead of 5-3.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
You move on to the Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
The Cowboys. So they're still 3-4. They haven't played yet.
They're 3-5. They lost another one.
Oh no.
So
yeah, this is not going very well. Sam Darnold hasn't played that bad. When I looked it up, it might have changed since then. He's completing over 80% of his passes. And Zeke's played pretty well. He had 11 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb's played well. I don't really understand how they're 3-5. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Right. I get that, Ryan. It makes sense. You've got the 2 young safeties that you need to play there. I get it. If you could have found somebody who naturally played corner, that would have been better, but you have to take what you can get.
Yeah, he also didn't give up that much for Gardner Johnson.
No.
So.
No. It was a trait by Ryan. I think this Cowboys team just has a lot of high-priced veterans that they need to kind of figure out what they're gonna do with. Whether it's keep them around or move on from them and retool around them.
Yeah, he put Cameron Jordan on the block and nobody bet on that. And Jordan's had a nice year.
I think the contract situation makes it hard for a lot of teams to come and get him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this Cowboys team can turn it around, but when you already have everybody in the division that's at least 2 games ahead of you, it's going to be really hard, especially in the NFC. So they might be done, and it might be time to really start thinking about trading some of these high-profile veterans.
Yep, I think next offseason for the Cowboys is going to be a very interesting one.
So we all had, let's see, it was pretty much Cowboys across the board. We had some Washington sprinkled in. You and me both had the Cowboys.
Yep.
I'm changing my pick. I would probably say Washington will win this division.
Yeah, I'm going to begrudgingly say Washington's going to win. I want the Giants to win it just because I think it would be hilarious.
Yeah, for sure.
Ricky Giles winning. Let's move on to the NFC West, where we have a really competitive division again. With the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Rams all sitting with 2 losses. Start with the Seahawks. They added Quinnen Williams. That's a great move for them. I really like it for them. It makes a defense that's been much better this season than expected even better.
Yeah, I totally agree. They have 2 good wins on the year. They beat the Rams and they beat the Panthers. They only have one bad loss, and I say bad, it's against the 49ers. But, you know, you could argue the 49ers are in another division. They would probably be better. Russ has played really well this year. Eric Ebron's had a really nice year for them, oddly. I don't know what Russ does, but he always gets tight ends to play well. DK Metcalf has played really good. Darren Hamilton and Darrell Taylor combined for 16 sacks. Oh, by the way, you bring in Quinn Williams.
Yeah.
So this team is really good. I feel bad for the rest of the division. Like, as much work as Roy and Corb have done, and Rush is like, you know what? I'm just going to bring in Quinn Williams, one arguably the best young defensive lineman in the entire league. So,
Yep.
Congratulations.
Let's move on to Roy and his 6-2 Cardinals. Losing DeAndre Hopkins hasn't slowed down this team at all.
Nope.
I think that's the key for this team is that they've been able to rebound really nicely, rebuild on the fly around these other guys, which is good.
Yeah, I agree. Kenyon Drake's played really well. The combination of Tyler Higbee and Andy Isabella have combined for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. And the defense is, still really good. So, I mean, Roy has just as good of a chance of anybody in the NFC of making the Super Bowl.
Yep.
He has one good win against the Chiefs. He doesn't have any bad losses, so he's right on schedule. I know he's lost both his games to Core, but Core's team's really good.
Yeah, let's move on to Core's team where I can, I guess, retract my previous statement. They're not bad. They're fine. I don't believe in Jalen Hurts.
Oh, they're more than
I don't
fine.
believe in Jalen Hurts. But that's fine. Like if that's where you want to go, but his defense is really good.
Cam
Akers is out of his mind this season.
This team. I love this team so much. They have 3 good wins, technically 2 because they beat the Cardinals twice, and they also beat the Chiefs. But Jalen Hurts has been awesome, and you could argue Cam Akers could possibly be first or second team, at least second team All-Pro, if not first team. OBJ's played really well. He added a couple pieces on defense at the trade deadline, plus Tyrann Mathieu earlier in the year. I love this team so much. Like this is like we'll have a question that's like, who's your most fun team to watch? It's the Rams. The Rams are the most fun. I love watching them.
Yeah. I don't have much to add with the Rams. I like Cam Akers. I think it's way too early to talk about Jalen Hurts being awesome. I think he's fine. I think we've got to see it. An entire season of really good football, and I'll be on the Jalen Hurts hype train, and then I'll call Kevin an idiot for trading him. Let's move on to the Niners.
I have them as they have one good win. They beat the Seahawks. I don't have any bad losses for them so far. Brock Purdy started out slow, but has played a lot better. Le'Veon Bell's had a nice year for him. George Kittle hasn't been as good as last year, but he's been fine. And then Crawford and Kinlaw and Bosa have combined for 16 sacks. So this team has definitely, before Chris left, this was one of the more popular Super Bowl picks out of the NFC, and it's just not really the same, unfortunately.
Kevin, I hated all your trades at the beginning. I've never liked anything you've done. Like, it's not like I'm bandwagoning. I still don't think Hurts is that good. If he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong, but I wouldn't have traded Baker Mayfield. That wouldn't have been the move I made. But, yeah. This Niners team, I think, is another team that I think if they streamed more games, they would win more games.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I hate Jalen Hurts. I never said I liked him. When did I ever say... Did I say I liked him, Sam?
No, you didn't.
I didn't say that.
You said he needed to see
I said
it.
he could prove me wrong is what I said. I never said I liked him. I said I wasn't sold on him, Kevin. You're not even listening to me. Back to the 49ers.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add. I'm with you.
Yeah,
If they streamed more, they would probably win more. But at this point in the year, it's probably too late with this division anyway.
I was like,
That's it for the NFC. We'll move on to the questions, and we'll try to go through these a little quick since it's getting to be pretty late.
Yep.
So we'll start with these. So first of all, thanks for everybody who's sending questions. We'll start with Pode's questions first. His first one is, why is Kevin blowing up his team? I say because I think
he's
Kevin,
retooling.
Yeah, retooling. I think Kevin just gets bored. And Christian McCaffrey, I was like, he thinks he can get the same value out of McCaffrey with Carry-On and Hubbard. But, I don't know, we talked about, like, he signed Carry-On to a 5-year deal. So if you're going to trade McCaffrey, like, why not just play Carry-On? I don't know.
Yep.
That's just...
Yeah, I agree. I think, like, Kevin is trying to big brain everybody here, and it's not... He's making moves that on paper aren't terrible, but in Madden, you're just hamstringing yourself by not just sticking with the guys for more than one season. You know, you're not giving the team any chance to, like, see what it actually is. 8 games isn't enough time to know, like, how everything gels together.
I agree. Moving on to the second question is, should Pode cut or trade Dak and eat $90 million in penalties? I said no. I mean, if he wants to trade him,
no.
If he wants to trade him, fine, but he definitely shouldn't cut him. Like that would. I know he actually wouldn't do that, but
no,
like I still wouldn't trade him. That's a lot. That's a lot of cap to just eat. It was that, like, I did that with Breeze, but that was because Breeze only had a couple years left, and he was like 30 something, or no, Breeze was in his 40s. Never mind. Like I just knew he wasn't going to play. But no, he should not. Why is Luke Carter the GOAT? Because he throws ducks, baby.
Bets for number 1 pick, because that Carter question isn't a real question. I said pick a QB. I don't know which one.
I thought you meant which teams were bets for the number 1 pick.
I mean, that's the Bills and the Vikings. I thought that was, like, pretty obvious at this point.
Yeah, I threw in the Jags as well. I had the Bills and the Vikings. Is Giles actually a good QB? Yeah, we answered this before. He's fine. Like, I would love to see him, like, with better pieces around him to see if he's actually good. I mean, he's fine. Why are the 7-9 Bills so bad?
The 7-9 at worst.
The worst Bills. So I said because Sean signs old guys and he trades away his young guys for younger guys who are actually worse and some poo-poo draft picks.
I said young at the wrong spots. I think having no wide receivers who are any good doesn't help, but your entire secondary is, young, and like I said, corners are very important in this Madden.
Favorite to win MVP and Super Bowl. MVP, I chose Jordan Love. Super Bowl, I chose either Packers or Patriots.
So for my MVP, I'm sticking with Joe Burrow. And I picked Packers or Bengals as the Super Bowl.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, none news. Kyle's about to get booted from the CM chat. So that's all Pode's questions. Thank you, Pode. Next we got Will. Wyrick is Thurman Wyrick, superstar all around. MVP for the Pats is probably on the move after this season. Where do you think he ends up? So this is actually pretty tough because if you look around the league, a lot of guys actually have either pretty good running backs or rookies. So if I had to pick, I said Jags, Ravens, or Chargers.
I like that. I said Miami.
Interesting.
May or may not have had discussions with Cody about making Wyrick a Dolphin next season. It's not 3 picks. It's fine. No, in all reality, I think Chargers are probably where he's going to end up. I was mostly joking about the Dolphins because I have no interest in trading for another running back.
To Cody. Will Wyrick be worth what Cody is undoubtedly going to ask for? I said probably because it's Cody, and Wyrick is so much younger than McCaffrey.
I meant more like I thought for the team that's getting him. I think he's going to be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I would too.
Wyrick is the best running back in the entire league, like hands down when he plays. That kind of production for a young quarterback can be game changing if you can hand the ball off and know it's going to be 7 to 15 yards pretty much every time. Yeah. So do you want to do his next question? Hello?
Yeah, sorry.
I was like, did I lose you again?
No, sorry. Winston woke up.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Who are the pretenders and who are the contenders in each conference? Contenders. I had Bengals, Packers, Patriots, Seahawks. I think I'm forgetting one more in the NFC. And then pretenders. I had the Browns at 5-2.
Yeah. So my contenders are the Bengals, the Pats, the Packers, and the Seahawks. My pretenders are the Giants, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Washington football team.
Okay. That makes sense.
I don't like going into the playoffs with the rookie QB.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it works out. Maybe he's a lot better than I think he is.
I think the defense is so good that it definitely helps the rookie QB.
Yeah. His next question was top 5 prospects. I don't have enough information on it.
Yeah,
I didn't. So, where do the 2 top quarterbacks end up? Whoever has the 1 and the 2 picks.
Yeah, I said, whoever has the top 2.
Well, whether it's the Bills, Bills, Texans, or Vikings, that's where they go.
Yeah. Favorite beer or liquor? If it's beer, I don't really care. I think this is gonna sound pretty bad, but I think pretty much all beer tastes the same, and liquor, probably Crown Vanilla.
So for beer, I have a local brewery I like to go to. It's pretty good stuff. They make a bunch of different lagers and stuff. So, but if it's just liquor, it's Crown Apple.
Oh heck yeah, I can get on board with that. So that was all of Will's questions. Thank you, Will. Sean, way too early mock of the top 10 picks. No clue.
Yeah, I'd have to look way deeper into this draft class.
Is there a team in the bottom of either conference that you can see jumping into the playoffs in the second half? I said Saints, Cowboys, Broncos. I've had terrible luck the past 4 games. I think the Cowboys are too good, but it might be too late for them and the Broncos because of their division.
Yeah, I have the Broncos, Saints, and Dolphins.
Oh, nice. Will the Bills ever get a win this season? And if so, in what week? So I said yes because it's Madden, and they play the Jags, Vikings, Lions, and Dolphins.
Yep.
So I figured
it was one of those weeks.
Probably going to be one of those teams. And he also asked, who do you think will be at QB for that possible first victory?
It better be King.
I said Rodgers is your best chance to win, which is why you shouldn't play him.
Yeah. So his next question: who has the most entertaining team in the league? This could be either stream-wise or being just fun to watch or content-wise, the GM personality and value of their team
It's
to their
threats.
team? I said the Cardinals. I think Roy has the most personality out of everybody in the league,
It's fair.
and he would be my ideal like podcast guest if we could get him on. But I'm not gonna say it because I'll get roasted again. So, um, but there are reasons that Roy can't be on the podcast. So,
Shame.
uh,
Give your thoughts on the difference between the four QB archetypes and what you think could be the most successful. So I don't know about you, but I said it's definitely either scrambler or improviser, and I go back and forth between the two.
that is fuck. That's not why. God damn it.
I said field
Oh,
general and strong arm are pretty much useless.
yeah. It's Scrambler and Improviser, and the other two hold on to the ball way too long.
Roast the bells
Uh,
for memes and content. We've already done enough of that tonight, so we can move
yeah,
on
we can skip.
to
Yeah, we can skip that one.
Cerulio's questions. What teams do you expect to fall off in the second half, and which team do you expect to turn it around? Fall off, I said the Browns. Turn it around, I said Broncos and Saints.
Uh, Browns for me as well, and I had the Broncos and Saints as well. It was kind of the same as the other one.
Uh, Next one is, will Cody or Will make it back to the Super Bowl? I said yes, both of them will make it back this year.
I think Will does this year. I think Cody falls just short.
Okay. This one was for me. Blowing the Saints up early wasn't what most would have done, in my opinion. In hindsight, would you change any of the moves you've made? Um, Probably not. I mean, the one move I would probably want to take back is the Marshawn Lattimore one, because I my secondary hasn't been that great. Patrick
Yeah,
Surtain has been fine, but like he would be way better as a number two than a number one. Um,
yeah,
so that's about it. I guess the other one I would like. Um, I mean, it sucks watching Alvin Kamara have so much success, but at the same time, ETN has been really good too. So, other than that, I'm pretty happy. I know I complain about Trey Lance, but he's been. I mean, it's only year two. He's been fine.
yeah. So Kyle, your frustration with Tua seems to be growing more and more each season. Is his reign coming to an end in Miami if the season turns out to be a fail? No. I won't be in. I won't be in a position to make a pick for a quarterback. There aren't going to be any better quarterbacks in free agency. Tua has until the end of next season when he has to get paid to turn this around before I really have to decide whether it's worth just letting him walk. Um,
Uh, yeah, I think that seems fair. Um,
like, and to be fair, those first 5 weeks when he didn't have any of his key blockers or running back or tight end, that's I can't really hold that against him, and he played better than I would have expected.
has Trevor
So
Lawrence lived up to the hype in his early career? Looking back, did Vince do the right thing keeping the first pick and selecting Lawrence? I said no. Lawrence has been fine, but he hasn't been significantly better than the other first round or the other QBs that were taken, which include Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy, and Ricky Giles. I would argue that Lawrence hasn't been significantly better. I would say there are probably a couple QBs who are actually better than him, and Vince could have had multiple firsts, which he desperately needed because that team is awful, and it shows because he had the number one pick in back-to-back years and is on his way to another top 10 pick. So
so
those other first rounds in the initial draft probably would have helped a good bit.
so I said yes, he's lived up to the hype. I didn't think he was gonna. If you would have asked me before we started playing, oh sorry, my mic got really close to my face. Um, if you would have asked me before we started playing Madden this year, if Lawrence had the numbers he had, Would I be happy with it? I would have said no. But after playing a couple seasons, I think he's been fine. He's not that bad. But do I think he regrets not trading the first pick? Yeah, he should.
Yeah, he should. I mean,
Uh,
and he should. And there's really no debate, honestly. Like, he could have had multiple firsts in that draft. And, I mean, Lawrence has
I
been
was
fine.
not. I like. Why would I want to roast Vince? I have no beef with Vince. Um,
Favorite team to watch
favorite team to
outside of
watch.
my own, I said Pats, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks.
Cardinals, Patriots, Saints, Bengals. Those are the ones that I like to watch.
Does Burrow have a shot at All-Pro QB? I said, yeah, absolutely, he has a shot.
Yep.
Last one
No
player on your
records.
team that have played beyond their stats and surprised you this season. Oh, it's Ricky Giles.
It's on your team.
On your team. Uh,
This is the question I was looking for.
okay, I guess Jonathan Moses leading
Yep.
my team in receiving would probably be my pick.
I don't like different people. What does that mean? I like lots of different people. Fucking Kevin. Mine's JoJo Brewer. 4 interceptions, 2 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 5 deflections. He's had a really nice season for the young guy. Definitely not what I expected.
So that was all of Cerulio's questions. So thank you for that. Moving on to Kevin's questions. Best move at the deadline. I said Williams to Seattle.
Who was this from? Kevin?
This is from Kevin.
I didn't get these ones.
Might be.
So you can go ahead and do them.
Worst move at the deadline. I said both Steelers moves. Biggest pretender. I said Browns. Super Bowl picks. I said Patriots versus Packers. Top 3 draft order. I said Bills, Vikings, Jags. Weirdest smell you've ever smelled. I said expired sweet tea. You're deserted on an island, but you can only have 3 movies. What are they? I said The Prestige, The Dark Knight, and Avengers Endgame.
I can answer that
Go for
one.
it.
It would be The Shining, Avengers, Infinity War,
Also fair.
and Batman Begins. Because I like Batman Begins more than The Dark Knight.
That's fair. Tobey Maguire, the best Spider-Man? Question mark. Stop it. Stop
No.
Stop it.
No. It's Andrew Garfield.
Oh my God, that's not true. And then
It
we
is
answered the
Andrew
other
Garfield
one.
for the win.
No. That was all of Kevin's questions. Cody asked, are the Bengals or Patriots built better to make a long run in the playoffs? I said the Pats.
I said the Bengals.
That's fair. The Patriots have won 6 straight despite being without Thurman for 3 of those. Does that surprise you? No.
It's a joke, Kevin. I don't like Garfield. I think Spider-Man's the worst fucking... I think Spider-Man's the worst superhero. I
Oh my
don't
gosh.
understand the hype.
He's my favorite superhero.
Like-
How dare you?
Oh my god, Spider-Man sucks.
What?
Thor is the best superhero. He's got the best hair.
Oh my God. This might be my last podcast.
All right, listen.
Good
Let's go to
God.
the next question. Batman is. I'll fucking fight you, Kevin.
Batman
Superman is the
my
worst
superhero. DC is ass, I
Superman-
agree.
Yeah, DC sucks.
Steve.
The Patriots have won 6 straight despite being without Thurman Wyrick for half of those. Does that surprise you?
No. How good is Javion Hawkins? Apparently he's really good. Apparently he's God's gift to man, according to Cody.
I think he's overrated.
No, I mean, I actually do think he's really good, but it helps when he's playing in behind the top 3 offensive line.
That's why I think he's overrated. I think he's playing behind the best offensive line, and teams seem to want to make moves to make themselves worse when they have to play Cody.
How do you feel about the Rob Gronkowski trade? Didn't really care. He's an old tight end. Of course, he'll probably be good for Cody.
You skipped a question.
Which one?
Kyle correctly predicted the Patriots would struggle with injuries. Are you surprised how well they're doing despite being without Matt Ioannidis?
Oh,
Most of your
yes and no.
And no. And I didn't predict you would have injuries, Cody. I literally just said, you asked what is the one thing that could hold the Patriots back. I said injuries. Like, that was it. I didn't say, oh, they're definitely gonna get injured. And I don't care about the Rob Gronkowski trade, actually. I just messing with Kevin.
Should the Pats trade Thurman Wyrick? I said, yeah. If Javion Hawkins is as good as Cody thinks he is, then yeah, they probably should.
I could care less. Trade him. Don't trade him. It's probably better for you to move on from him just because you need to free up that cap space other places.
What teams will regret not making a splash at the deadline? I'd say the Eagles and Cardinals.
I guess it's going to be the Dolphins for me since I didn't know Cody was going to go out and build another super team.
There you go. The Jets entered the season as the favorite to rep the AFC in the Super Bowl. At 3-4, they decided to move some of their best players. What is Poe doing? I said giving up too early.
Who the hell are these questions from?
Cody?
I don't know. They're not in my chat. Are they? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, the Poe gave up too early. That's about it.
What do you make of the Devin Bush acquisition to New England? It's bullshit, and I hate it. And that's all I have to say about it.
It's just a big for me. It hurts my soul, but whatever. I can't.
I guess. Thank you, Cody, for sending those questions.
I have some from Roy that I wanted to surprise you with.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. I have some from Ryan to end it. So you go first.
What is Sean? What in the world is Kevin doing? Is he the new Sean?
So I think Kevin and Sean are the same person.
Yeah.
And they're just on the opposite sides of the spectrum, and it's some sort of weird social experiment to see which team is better.
And then he also asked in the CM chat, Roy did, what meme has been your favorite? And obviously it's going to be the one of me as the Dolphins celebrating being in third place. It's so goddamn accurate. I've seen a picture of Sean. I've never seen a picture of Kevin. So
I don't know which one's my favorite. Honestly, they're all my favorite.
Yeah, they're all really good. All right, we can end on Ryan's.
Winners and losers at the trade deadline. I said winners. Seahawks, Patriots, Bengals. Losers, Steelers, Browns.
Yep, and I agree with those.
And I guess you could put Jets there if you want to.
Yeah.
Bold prediction for the second half of the season. I said a 3-way tie for first place in the NFC South.
I like that. Dolphins go 6-1 over the last part of the season and make the playoffs only to get destroyed in the first round of the playoffs by 40 plus.
Wow. Last one. If you had to switch rosters with another team, which would it be? But it can't be the Pats, Packers, or Cowboys.
So mine is the Saints. Or I like the young guys, or the Bengals.
I said Washington.
I don't like Washington's team that much.
I do. I like Washington's team a lot.
Or Detroit. I like Detroit too. Actually.
Yeah, he's got a couple good.
I like
pieces
Wooden.
For sure.
I like Wooden, and or Woodard, and I like Lawrence, and I like Waddle. So.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of good teams that are just kind of stuck in bad situations right now. Like poor Niners being in that division with no.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of teams that are kind of in limbo, either because of cap space or their aging roster, or like
You must have
us.
missed the AFC North. We talked about the AFC North.
It was almost it was the
I
first
think
one,
it was.
right? It was
Well,
the
yeah, it
first
was
one
the
we
very
did.
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the very first one we did.
This will go up.
So
This will go up as a on YouTube though, so you can, and it probably goes up as a video on Twitch, I assume, like right
it
after
does.
we're
It
done
saves on
anyway.
Twitch too.
Okay.
It has to go up. It has to go up on YouTube. It'll probably be tomorrow when I get it up on YouTube, though.
All right. Well,
Uh, yeah,
I
that's it for the podcast tonight, guys.
I gotta go to bed. It's 11 o'clock. This was fun, and we'll
Yeah,
be back. I guess probably late this weekend,
next.
probably early next week.
Yeah.
Um,
And State of the Franchises will be next week sometime. I'll put up the scenario sometime. So.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for the questions and for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Don't forget, if you haven't already
Oh
subscribed.
shit.
What?
Vince had questions.
While you
We
get
can
those,
do them real quick.
Yeah, while you get those, if you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. We're trying to get affiliated on Twitch, and we're 13 away. So if you guys could do that and get some of your friends to do it, that would be awesome. It would really help us out. And we'll end it with Vince questions. What's up?
Jalen Waddle is leading the league in receiving as of 1:30 p.m. Eastern today, and has 4 TDs. Is it time for the Associated Press to formally apologize for picking that bum Seth Williams 336 and 2 touchdowns on the year over him last year? No,
No, he had
it's
a better
not.
year.
Is Woodard still Defensive Rookie of the Year favorite, having played only 4.5 games? Probably.
Yeah, probably. I'd have to go look, but probably.
It's closed the gap a little bit. Is Woodard on Kyle's 5 favorite players in the league for taking out Wyrick? He's in my top 10, but not for taking out Wyrick. I think he's been really good, and I enjoy watching him play. Josh Jacobs trade, good or bad? We talked about this. Good for Vince, probably not as good for... Well, I mean, I guess it's good for both of them. Maybe a little bit worse for Vince because he's giving up what could be a
top 10.
5 to 15. 5 to 15. I'll give him 5 to 15. Will Trevor ever become elite after the Madden gods screwed him out of the Scrambler Architect? If you can get him back into Scrambler, yes, but otherwise it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Hello?
That's tough.
I was like...
Sorry,
yeah.
I honestly thought you were going to ask the next question. Yeah, that's tough. But...
No, that's the last one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. Getting screwed out of Scrambler. If you can get him back in, he'll be fine.
Yep. Trust me, as somebody who's trying everything he can to get Tua into Improviser, like when I put points into Improviser and Field General goes up, I want to cut my own wrists. Ask your question quick, Kevin. Sam needs to go to bed.
I swear, this better be a good question, Kevin.
Kevin? It's about me liking the same people again. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be sad about it.
Why can't Cody win a Super Bowl unless I trade him a QB? Because Cody needs other people to help him win a Super Bowl. He can't do it himself.
Cody won a Super Bowl with Deshaun Watson, so you weren't the only person who traded him a quarterback.
That's true.
So,
Speaking from experience.
all right, guys.
That's it. We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for hanging
Darnold
out.
and yep. Have a good night, everybody. See you later, Sam.
See you, buddy.
Yep. Bye.